HISIU sounds like a sneeze. Maybe we can incorporate that. Hey guys, and welcome back to Cooking with Colin. Today we're going to be starting a new series called HISIU, or what it actually means is how I set it up, and just shortened to HISIU. And it's going to be me teaching you how I set up just certain cubes to the best feel, in my opinion, and I can explain if you want to make it faster or slower, and just to kind of break it down so you guys understand it. So for this video, I will be doing it on the WRM 2020, but I'm going to kind of go to like the beginner steps for it, just in this one, and the further ones, I will be doing it more like just getting to the point, but in this one I'm going to go in more detail so that you'll understand it for the future. First off, if you've never lubed a cube before, you can use this video reference I have right here. I teach you how to lube a cube and go into each step, but if you have done that, then just keep watching here. So first things first, you want to take your cube apart and make sure that you clean off every single piece so that no old lube stays in. So you can use a toothbrush to get off all the extra stuff, but I never do that. I just take a towel, just clean it where all the spots are that the lube can be, and then just set it off to the side and just do that for every piece. And that gets the majority of the lube, and it does not take too long compared to some other ways that you can be doing it. So you could wash it with water, but I don't want to wash it with water. So just make sure you clean every single piece off going through here, and you'll just get to where it's just the core. So I decided I should probably switch mats because I don't want to get any lube on the perfect white mat. I think I did get a little, so I'm going to kind of stop that. So as I'm going through this, one thing I want to let you guys know is at the moment of filming, I am at 480 subscribers. When I hit 500, I will be doing a Q&A. So on this video, write down in the comments, you can ask me some questions. I'm not going to answer them here, I'll answer them from the video. And I'm going to be posting on my Instagram a post where you guys can just ask me all the questions you want. So hop over there if you want to ask some more. And yeah. So now that we've cleaned off every piece, you're just going to want to put it back together. And yeah, you can feel that the pieces are pretty dry. And so we'll just get it back together and I'll be back. So now we've got it apart and the pieces should be pretty dry. So you'll want to get it back together and then we'll move on to the next step. So we got it back together, completely dry, and just like in the unboxing, the cube is very fast. It's just a naturally fast cube, and that's completely okay. So, for all fast cubes, you're going to want some heavy lubes to slow it down. So here we are with each of the lubes out, and we're definitely going to use some weight 5. You can never go wrong with weight 5. And I generally start with Nebula on my cubes, and then I do either Martian or Lunar, depending on how much speed I think it needs. But SpeedCube Shop is kind enough to now sell this lube guide, and it shows the 4 main ones. It doesn't show Solar because Solar is limited edition, but Lunar is like basically the DNM 37 of SpeedCube Shop lubes. It's the fastest one, and it doesn't really do much besides speed up. Martian is slightly slower, but still a very fast lube, but it also gives your cube a great feel. So if you were to just buy one lube, get the Martian. And then Galaxy is like, it speeds it up a decent amount, but it also provides like the gummy feel. And then Nebula slows it down quite a bit, but gives great control and a gummy feel. So, looking at that, I recommend using Nebula and Lunar, or Nebula and Martian, along with the weight 5. So I'm probably going to use Nebula and Lunar, but if you want slightly slower, then you can use Martian. And even slower than that, you could use Solar and Lunar, or Solar and Martian. Solar's really going to slow the cube down though. So as you may have been able to tell from that, I generally like my cubes faster. So if you like them slower, like I said, Solar, Lunar, weight 5. That's what I would recommend. But I'm going to be using these 3 lubes, and I almost forgot to do the core. So the core, I can't really clean it out because I don't want to take it apart. But what I always do for the core, just to reduce spring noise, is I just take my Galaxy, always Galaxy, and then I just find where there's an opening in the screw. So for the WRM 2020, you find this little hole here, and I just set it right here and give it a drop. And then I let it sink in, and I do that for each side. And then it reduces the spring noise, and so that helps. And for the WRM 2020, there was a pretty strong spring noise on the orange and red faces, and now that's gone because the Galaxy has gotten rid of it. So I'm not really going to go into too much detail, as I've already kind of done it before, but for this lube, for the weight 5, just kind of put it all on the tracks wherever the pieces touch, on one edge piece and one corner piece, so that's good for the edge piece. You should always do the corner first because I always forget and do the edge first and I have to set it down. But then do the same thing for the corner here, just wherever they would touch. You can't really overdo it, it's just got to be broken in. So then you just stick it back in. The corner can be twisted, you can just twist it later. There you go. Then put it in the right way. Then the edge, you got to make sure you put it in the right way. Come on. There you go. So what I just am going to do is get all this little extra lube sitting there, and then you just want to break this in for a couple minutes as the weight 5 can take a bit to break in and before it provides the great feel. So I kind of changed my mind. I think rather than doing just Nebula, I'm going to do a combination of Solar and Nebula because I think last time that I set it up, it was a little bit fast. So now, I generally, for the slower lube, I generally do 2 to start off, and you can always add more. So I'm going to do 1 of each of these. So for the bottle lubes, all you got to do, open this thing up, drop a drop in there, then close it. And then same thing for this one. Just drop 1 in there, close it up. Okay, so now before you add in the fast one, you're just going to break it in. Yep, so I can already tell it is quite a bit slower, and the lunar is definitely going to speed it up a little and put it at the right speed for me so I have the great feeling and it's a good speed. So you just want to break it in for a couple more seconds. It is really getting slower as you work it in, which is the goal you want. So I generally add 1 lunar in, and you can always add another one in, but you just want to be careful with how much you lube it, because if you over lube it, you can't really take it out, but you can always add more in, and you don't want to have to redo it. So here we go. Let's do, yeah, I think it could use 1 more lunar, and then that'll be it. So we'll break it in, we'll do a time solve, and then I'll just do some closing thoughts. Okay, it's broken in, good enough for the scramble, and let's use my new YJ timer that I won from the giveaway. Get it in frame, break it in just a slight bit more. So I think the way I'm going to always end this series is by doing a solve and close out and sum up what lubes I used. So before I do this solve, I used weight 5, 1 solar, 1 nebula, and 2 lunar. Try this out for yourself on the WRM 2020 and let me know how it feels. But let's get into the solve. .82. That's about what I average, and I could tell the cube felt really good. So as I break it in a slight bit more, I think the feel is going to improve, but you can already tell from when I was doing the turns when it was dry, now it's very quiet. I'll even bring it close. If you do it without the magnets, you can barely hear it. That's the goal we were going for, and the great feel. We have gotten both, and with that setup. That's all I've got for today. As always, thanks for watching, and HISIU!